All right, so now we're going to find the radius of a sphere. And so we have volume equals 4/3 pi times your radius cubed. So they gave us the volume in terms of pi, which makes this a lot easier. So we have to plug in our volume for V. So we have 288 pi equals 4/3 pi times your radius cubed. And since they left this in terms of pi, that means that they never actually multiplied this by 3.14. So your volume is whatever 288 times 3.14 is. But this actually makes it so much easier because what we're going to do is solve for r. So we are going to get rid of 4/3 on this side by multiplying by its reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 3/4. And when we do that, we're going to also multiply by 3/4 on the other side. So that cancels out our fraction on the right, leaving us with pi times your radius cubed. And then we will do 288 times 3, because it's like over 1. So we multiply our two top numbers and our two bottom numbers. So times 3. And so that is 864. So 864 over 4. And that's the same as then dividing by 4, which gives us 216. So actually this becomes 216 pi. So now we need to get rid of pi on this side. And so we're multiplying by pi. So the opposite is to divide by pi on both sides. And just like if we had 4 divided by 4, anything divided by itself is just 1. So these two will cancel. And so that leaves us with our radius cubed equals, and these cancel. So we have 216. And so now we need to figure out what number times itself 3 times gives us 216. So you can actually do this on the calculator, and it doesn't look like there's anything that we can use here because this is 2. So we can't take the square root because the inverse of a cube is a cube root. So it looks like 3 and then the square root sign. So to find this on the calculator, we have to hit the second button, and it gives us all new functions on our calculator. And so now we see the cube root right here. So it has the 3 with the little square root. So we take that cube root of both sides, and that cancels our exponent. And so we have radius equals, so 216 cube root, and that's 6. So to check that, we could go back and see if 6 times itself 3 times gives us 216. So 6 times 6 times 6, and that does give us 216. So again, to find that on the calculator, you hit 216 second cube root, and it gives us 6. So our answer here is 6 inches. So I want you to pause it, try the 2 triads, and then when you're ready, check your answers with mine by hitting play. So they gave us the volume. So we're going to plug that into our equation, which is volume equals 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. So we're going to plug in our volume for V. So we have 36 pi equals 4/3 pi times your radius cubed. Draw our line. We are going to multiply by the reciprocal of that fraction to get rid of it on the right side. So we're going to multiply by 3/4. That's the same as multiplying the two top numbers and then dividing by 4. So 36 times 36 times 3 divided by 4 gives us 27. So we have 27 pi equals pi times your radius cubed. Now to get rid of the pi on the right side, we need to divide because that's the inverse of multiplying by pi. That cancels them out on both sides. So we have 27 equals your radius cubed. So you type 27 second cube root, and that's 3. So like I said, we took the cube root of 27 because that cancels our exponent of 3, leaving us just with r. So it's 3 meters is our final answer. Over here we have our volume. So volume is 14. This time they did not leave it in terms of pi for us. So we are going to plug in 14 for our volume equals 4/3 times pi times your radius cubed. Draw our line. So we have to multiply by 3/4 on both sides. That cancels our fraction. So we have pi times your radius cubed equals 14 times 3 divided by 4 is 10.5. Because it's not left in terms of pi, when we divide, we're going to divide by pi on both sides. So we have 10.5 divided by pi. And then that gives us about 3.342 equals our radius cubed. So now we're going to take the cube root of both sides. That cancels our exponent. So we have r equals. So we can even just do 3.342 second and then cube root that. And that gives us 1.49. That 9 brings the 4 to a 5. So we have about 1.5 when we round that to the nearest tenth. So we have 1.5 inches for our answer to that one.